Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Have a Kamen Rider X8 review for you today. This is Level Up Rider Series number 18, Kamen Rider X8 Maximum Gamer and Muteki Gamer set. And basically how this works is, as we've seen with some of the previous releases, the Muteki figure comes with a shell, and the shell is the Maximum Gamer in this case. We've seen it before with the first release of X8 with the level 1 shell, and then we saw it with the Mighty Brothers for the level 10 shell. Kind of a little bummed that Maximum Gamer didn't get his own figure. Maybe we'll get something in the Premium Bandai Level Up Rider line. That's like an actual really nice detailed Maximum Gamer figure, because I would appreciate that. But in the meantime, this is what we have. As you can see, Muteki very prominent on the cover here. Front of the box, I should say. Kind of cool. I like how the picture wraps down to the top of the box. Here's a picture on the side. Here's a picture on the other side. Decent picture there on the bottom. And then taking a look on the back, it just shows you the shell with the figure. And then it kind of has this really nice lineup here on the back to show you all the other releases. So like I said, this was the regular shell that came with X8. And then we had the shell that came with one half of the Mighty Brothers. But that's pretty much all the releases in this line so far. So pretty cool. I'm not sure if this is going to be the last release. I could easily see it being the last one. I was kind of hoping we'd get a Kamen Rider Kronos figure, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It's kind of a bummer. I was also kind of hoping for a repaint of this release, the Fantasy Gamer, as Legacy, so we could put that on Brave. But maybe both of those would be perfect for the Premium Bandai line version of the PB Level Up Rider series. Only time will tell. So in the meantime, let's get this guy out of the box and we'll take a closer look. So this is everything you get in the box. You get the Muteki figure and then you get the shell. I guess we'll take a look at the shell quick just to kind of get it out of the way. It looks pretty good. I mean, as far as aesthetically, it looks like the show. It looks like Maximum Mighty X from the front anyway. When you turn it around, obviously, it's very hollow back here. The arms are just kind of like a peg in a peg hole. And they just peg in right there. So they can swivel up and down like he wants to flap his arms like a chicken. The head can flip back if you wanted to put someone in here and have the head poke in through the back. But for the shell mode, you just kind of leave the head up and the arms can move, and that's really it. No other articulation. Very hollow on the back, but it's a shell, so it makes sense. So that's kind of it. Now he can hold the key slasher, but this set does not come with a key slasher. This is the key slasher from Mighty Brothers, just so you know that. That's why it's orange. No accessories with this set, but they can wield the key slasher. So that's it for the shell. Put him off to the side. The real star, haha, star, see what I did there, is the Muteki figure. I like it a lot. It's definitely very shiny. They have some chrome gold pieces here on the kind of arm gauntlets, the chest, and a little bit on the head. And then he's got the crazy, like, dreadlocks going on here on the back. Just be careful. I popped the head off on mine while I was trying to get it into the shell. We'll get to that in a minute. But luckily it snapped right back on, so no harm done. But you can see the driver here has the Muteki gashette clipped on to the Mighty Action X and then flipped down, so I like that attention to detail. Very cool. Has some gashettes over here. Otherwise, the paint's pretty nice. He's got this orange, blue, and pink lines going from the chest through the thighs. Nice molding here on the shins. The only thing that really kind of bums me out is the eyes on the head are a sticker. Now, they're a nice holofoil sticker, so I'll give them that. But it is just a sticker, so I mean, over time that could peel, and that's kind of a bummer. I wish they were painted on or molded in like all the other eyes of the figures are, but what are you going to do, I guess? I don't know. He has all the same articulation as a normal rider gimmick figure. Head is on a ball joint, so you get side to side, up and down. Shoulders are hindered a little bit by the shoulder points or spikes on his shoulder pads there, but in and out, back and forth, bicep swivel, elbow, wrist swivel, hands open. Fingers have 2 spots like that. Per usual. Waist swivel, the usual, out to the side and front to back at the hips. Front to back? Front to back at the hips. Thigh swivel, right above the knee. 2 joints for the knee because it's the same mold for all the other shell ones, and the ball joint in the ankle. So all the usual points of articulation, but it looks good. I like the figure a lot. I like the gold. It's very sparkly. And like I said, I like the hollow foil on the eyes. And I guess maybe there was no other way to do that unless they did a sticker. That's why they did it. Because I don't really have hollow foil paint. So I guess I get that. But it's still a bit of a bummer, in my opinion. But I can get over it. So yeah, overall, I think it's a fun figure. I love the chrome bits. That's my favorite. Very shiny. The hair is kind of a problem because it, you know, is all one piece. So it kind of makes the head only be able to move so much. But it looks kind of neat. I didn't really like this form at first, but it's definitely grown on me. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to fit it into the shell, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So the first thing you have to do is take the gauntlets off, and then you just kind of put them off to the side. But they just peg in, you know, there's a peg inside here and then fits into the peg hole on the arm, per usual. Nothing special there. Then you're going to come and take the hands off of this. I showed you earlier how they just fit into peg holes back there with these giant pegs. So you just unpeg them, and then they have a peg inside. Probably hard to see, but right there. And that's going to just peg into the hole here on the forearms as well. Now this part can be a little tricky, and you can kind of see how there's like a right angle here with the shoulder pad. This thing is going to kind of fit like right in that right angle, as you can see. So you kind of have to get it on there and then really push it in, and then you can see how it just kind of perfectly fits in that little 90-degree angle. And then do it again over here. For some reason, his left arm always works easier for me than his right arm. I don't know why that is, but it's weird. Maybe it's because I'm right-handed. That would make sense. So let's try it that way. Oh. No, it's not just that. It's weird. There we go. Okay, so once you have the hands on there, kind of looks hilarious. Giant, big, bulky hands. You have to come around to the back. And you can see that there are pegs right here, which you need to somehow get into the peg holes on his feet, while at the same time this connector clip here and here, you can see it maybe a little better. It's all black, so it's a little difficult. Let me get a little bit more light. See those clips? Oh, he fell over. The arms are heavy. They have to go into the holes on his waist, like we're used to seeing. So I'm going to try to do this, but it can be a little difficult. And another thing you have to be wary of, you are not going to peg the arms. See, it always makes this piece come flying out every single time I do this. It's kind of annoying. Okay, cool. That snapped right into place. Oh, wow. It did it fairly easily this time. So as you can see, the head is kind of far back, so I have to kind of reach in here and peg the hand or the head back into place. It loves to come flying out. It's really not in there that great, I have to be honest. This little X8 head, it doesn't snap in very tightly. It's kind of a pain. But like I said, once you get it done, now like I said, you are not going to try and peg these back into where they were pegged in the shell mode. They're just going to be on his arms, because I kept trying to peg them in there too at first, and it was pushing him way too forward and popping it out of the waist pegs, and it was just a mess. So this is him inside the shell, and that way you can move the arms around a little bit because you're just using the joints from Muteki. So you can move the arms around a little bit. So you have a little bit more articulation in this mode than if you just had the arms pegged into the shell. So that's kind of neat. And he looks okay. You just kind of have to make sure these are folded back. But you really don't see too much of the Muteki poking through. Obviously a little bit up there at the head. But it's not that big a deal. I mean, to be fair, I guess I don't know how much articulation you would really get. If you made just a Maximum Mighty X figure, you might have like a swivel above the knee. You probably wouldn't even have a knee joint. You'd probably have just a swivel because he's pretty bulky. I mean, I guess maybe you could have a knee joint. I don't know. I don't design action figures. But I do feel like with the extra arm posability, this form or this shell is a little better than when you just have the arms pegged into the shell directly. And of course, he can still use the key slasher. Muteki can hold the key slasher too, obviously, because he's got normal rider hands like every other figure. So, but yeah, I think it's decent. I think it looks pretty good. I definitely, like I said, I think it looks better. I mean, from the back, it looks ridiculous, obviously, but all the shells kind of do. That's just how they work. But from the front, I think it looks pretty good. The added ability of arm movement really adds to it when you have them hooked together, in my opinion. So another thing you can do is actually put the X-Aid figure in here, very similar to the way you pop in the Muteki figure. So you would just go ahead and once again pop these onto the forearms, which is a little bit more difficult because you don't have those shoulder pads to guide you this time like you did previously, but it can be done. Albeit somewhat difficultly. Alright, so there we go. Now at this point you would fold the head in, because you're going to have your own X-Aid head. And then you have to line up the feet again, and get the waist thing to clip into the right spot, which is easier said than done. Ooh, did I get on the first try? Almost. There we go. The foot's not in here. Oh, his knee joints are doing strange things. There we go. And then you can kind of rock them a little bit forward. So that kind of works. The only problem is because his head sits so far back, it looks a little awkward. As you can see, very dark, very shadowy, because it sits really far back. So when you have Muteki pegged in, it's meant to be far enough back that this head, like the two heads don't get in the way of each other. So when you go ahead and put X-Aid in there, it's really far back and kind of, you know, covered in shadow. But if I shine a little bit of light, no, it's a little better. You can kind of see it, maybe. You still get the full range of the arms like you normally would. So not really a super viable option, but it is something you can do. Really, you could put any of the figures in this shell and have anyone's head you want stick out of there. I just figured I'd show you X-Aid since he is supposedly supposed to ride in this. But unfortunately, because his head sits so far back, it kind of just looks really dark. So ultimately, I do like this figure. As I said previously, I would have preferred a standalone, fully posable Mighty Action X figure. But what we get here is still pretty solid. I think the Muteki figure looks great. I love the chrome bits. I think the detailing is really nice. The paint's nice. Articulation is good, standard for what we get usually for these rider gimmick figures. Only thing I really nitpick is that the eyes are a sticker, and I understand that they wanted to do a holofoil effect, and a sticker is the easiest way to do that. It's just I'm a little worried over time that that might peel. It might not be a problem. Only time will tell. I'll just kind of have to wait and see, but it's a little worrisome is all I'm saying. As far as the shell for Mighty Action X, it's really not bad. When it's on its own, you know, a little bit of hindered articulation because the arms just, you know, swivel up and down in the peg hole. But when you actually put Muteki into the shell, it gives the arms a lot more range of movement, and it actually looks pretty good. I appreciate that he can hold the key slasher here, even though they don't come with any accessories. They could have thrown one in. I don't feel like it would have been that much more as far as cost to them, because it's just one small accessory, but it's not super important. He doesn't use it all that often. But yeah, like I said, I'm still holding out for a really nice, fully posable Maximum Mighty X figure. I'm hoping maybe in the premium Bandai line that's something they could do. But overall, I think it's neat. I mean, it makes sense in the show because this guy kind of pops out of the top. So it kind of made sense to do it as a shell. The only other complaint I have about the shell is it's kind of difficult to get the figure in here to make sure that the feet are pegged into the back peg holes and that the waist thing lines up. And every single time I put it in, this headpiece pops out. I mean, it clips right back in, so that's not that big a deal. But it doesn't seem to be super securely snapped in there that it literally pops out every time I try to put a figure in there. But yeah, I mean, overall, you know, the shell is not bad. For a shell, it's pretty decently painted. I don't have too many complaints. Like I said, overall for this set, there's a couple minor nitpicks, but overall, I think it's fun. I really think it's fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to hear your opinions. Please like and share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Level Up Rider Series number 18. Kamen Rider X-Aid, Maximum Gamer, and Muteki Gamer set. It's a mouthful, I know, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.